Hi, hello, good morning. It is so early. The sun is not even up yet. We will watch her rise together. Brand new angle. I know I keep switching it up on you guys. I'm trying to find what works. I think the echo is gonna be here until I get furniture, so you may as well just work in the corner. I also moved my bookshelf. It was over on that wall. Now it's over here, but there's also books over here. I don't know, I just feel like this corner has a little bit more personality, but you let me know what you think. We'll chat about it, and if you tell me I need to move my bookshelf back, I probably will. I am quite excited about what we're talking about today because today's video is 26 books that I want to read in 2026. 26 books is a lot. It's also only a quarter of my reading goal for the year. I do think the likelihood that I get through all of these is pretty high. Some of them I rolled over from last year, some of them are brand new based on what people are telling me I should read. I don't have all of them in physical books, but honestly that's a blessing because this is 17 of them. So maybe not having them all physically is good. You can't even see the bottom of that stack. Oh, it's heavy. What's your bevy? Mine's coffee with vanilla almond syrup. It's quite good. Look at this. Grr. Grr. There's a lot of them. I think all but one of these are books that are already out. Do I look more orange? I feel like every time I look back at the frame, I'm like, why is she orange? Is that better? Now I look blue. I fear we may just have to roll with the punches here. Bear with me, I've never filmed at this time. It's 7:08 in the morning. I have never filmed at this time before, so that's it. I'm done touching it. I'm done touching it. We're gonna do title, genre, synopsis. Most all of these are books that are already out. I know there's at least one that's not out yet, but it looks really good, so I wanted to put it on here. I'm also not counting entire series in this list. I will count a book from the series, but not the entire series. Okay, here's what I'm reading right now. Tell me why it's so good. I don't know why I doubted that, but I did. But as far as nonfiction go, this reads great. I love it. I bet I'm gonna have like a lot of light playing in this video, and that's just what it is. First book of 2026 that I want to read. These are in no particular order. Our first book is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I was told by a friend that I need to read this. I feel like all my guy friends read science fiction and it's kind of the only thing they read. It's either like Stephen King or science fiction. And honestly, I love that for them. A lone astronaut, an impossible mission, an ally he never imagined. I literally have never read this before. Like the synopsis, don't have a clue. I like going in blind. I'll just read what people tell me to read. Maybe that's why my average rating is like 3.5 stars. Ryland Grace is the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission, and if he fails, humanity and Earth itself will perish. Except right now he doesn't know that. He can't even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how to complete it. I'm leaving it at that. I love a white room trope. I'm not gonna read the rest of that. That's gonna be so good. I love a white room trope, especially if like the fate of the world is on the line. I love it when someone's about to die. I love that in my books. There's a movie with Ryan Gosling coming out in March of 2026, so I will be reading this pretty promptly. I didn't understand why everyone was so hyped about Ryan Gosling, and then I watched Crazy Stupid Love and now I get it. I think 2026 might be the year I dive more into sci-fi, which is very exciting for me. I don't really do sci-fi. I never really have. Big new things coming this year. Next is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. The second book is coming out this next year. Everyone had so many good things to say about this book, and I love a cute little romance. Romance was the genre I read the most of last year, so I have reason to believe I will probably like this. Aiden Valentine has a secret. He's fallen out of love with love, and as the host of Baltimore's romance hotline, that's a bit of a problem. But when a young girl calls into the station asking for dating advice for her mom, the interview goes viral, thrusting Aiden and heartstrings into the limelight. Lucy Stone thought she was doing just fine. She had a good job, an incredible family, and a smart, slightly devious kid. But when all of Baltimore is suddenly scrutinizing her love life, or lack thereof, she begins to question if she's as happy as she thought. That's gonna be so much fun. That's gonna be so cute. Maybe a little more romance wouldn't be such a bad thing. That's gonna be so precious. I'm pretty sure this book is not very large either. I think it's like around 300 pages. So that sounds like a day's work to me, especially if it's as cute as it sounds. I'm excited about that. I can't keep saying that. I can't keep saying that. I can. Why the hell can't I? I am excited. Next up, we have another science fiction title that I'm very excited about. I don't know if I'm ready to ruin my life like this yet though. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Another science fiction. I'm just feeling it. I don't know what it is. I'm just feeling it. Don't know a damn thing about this series, but I've heard nothing but good things about. A lot of the men in my life don't read, except for my dad and my brother. They're always reading great books. I've never had a bad recommendation from those two. So if a guy in my life was like, no, this was good, I should read it. Darrow is a red, a member of the lowest caste. Oh, I love a caste system. In the color-coded society of the future. Like his fellow reds, he works all day believing that he and his people are making the surface of Mars livable for future generations. When I tell you I didn't know the first thing about this until right now. Yet he toils willingly, trusting that his blood and sweat will one day result in a better world for his children. But Darrow and his kind have been betrayed. Soon he discovers that humanity reached the surface generations ago. Vast cities and lush wilds spread across the planet. Darrow and reds like him are nothing more than slaves to a decadent ruling class. I'm leaving it there. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be phenomenal. No wonder people love it. From my understanding, it's an original trilogy and then there's add-ons. So that's gonna be great. Am I a science fiction girl now? I haven't even read it yet. Maybe I should read it. I'll get back to you guys on that. Next is Jade City by Fonda Lee. I actually started reading this book last year. I got like 65% of the way through it and it's so good. It was published by Orbit Publishing House. They're one of my favorite publishing houses, so of course I should have known that. Holy whoa. This is the first book in the Greenbone saga, and it's about these two rival gangs who used to be two halves of the same whole, but were split. They control the manufacture and distribution of jade, and some people, the Greenbones, are able to wear jade, and it amplifies their natural ability, like speed, strength, whatever. It's kind of like a performance-enhancing drug, and the more jade you have, the stronger you are and the more well-respected you are. But there's a synthetic drug going around that's allowing people that aren't Greenbones to wield the jade. And so there's this like secret underground for the distribution of this drug. There's these people that are hungry to break against the Greenbones for the unfairness of it. And it all happens on this little island. It's so interesting. It's like Mafia Street Fighter vibes. It's so good. Fonda Lee's writing is beautiful. It's very action-packed. I don't know why I stopped reading it. I think it's because it's a very engaging read, and when I was reading that, I didn't want to read anything else. I want to say before I've even finished it that it's like a 10 out of 10. Like, it was so good to read. There's two other books, Jade War and Jade Legacy, and it's just those three. Next is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I did read this book in high school. It's one of those books that you read in high school and you kind of forget you're reading it for an assignment. It's so good. This is one of the like Barnes & Noble classic versions. It's got my like 16-year-old annotations in it still. $7.95 US, the way I can't, for a hardback? Try telling me inflation's not real. That's obscene. Anyway, Frankenstein follows the story of Victor Frankenstein. Frankenstein assembles a human being from stolen body parts, but upon bringing it to life, recoils in horror at the creature's hideousness. Tormented by isolation and loneliness, the once innocent creature turns to evil and unleashes a campaign of murderous revenge against his creator. I remember this being so impactful reading it in high school. The subtitle of Frankenstein is The Modern Prometheus. So the myth of Prometheus brought fire to humanity and humanity destroyed themselves with it. Frankenstein touches on this with the idea of animating a dead body, and I think it's really timely in this era of AI because I don't think we know what we're messing with. So I just want to reread this for the sake of philosophy, for the sake of critical thinking. Next, we have a book that was gifted for me for Christmas, Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This is a really pretty edition. Oh, baddie! Do I know what it's about? Absolutely not, but I want to know, so sweet boyfriend got it for me for Christmas. Sarah's fame is good at keeping secrets. No one knows about the strange power she possesses or the fact that she's been picking pockets and stealing from the Undying Queen's reservoirs for as long as she can remember. In the land of the unforgiving desert, there isn't much a girl wouldn't do for a glass of water, but sooner or later, every secret comes out. When Sarah comes face to face with Death himself, oh, okay. She inadvertently reopens a gateway between realms and is transported to a land of ice and snow. The Fae have always been the stuff of myth, of legend, of nightmares, but it turns out they're real, and Ceres has landed right in the middle of a centuries-long conflict that might just get her killed. Fae and Death himself, yada yada. Sounds great. Sign me up. I'm in it. Is this one with Kingfisher? Totally is, which I think is like a crazy name. Slay. I'm up for it. A book that thick better be action-packed. Next, we have a book that is not out yet. I think this is the only one on the list that isn't. This is The Red Winter by Cameron Sullivan. Expected February 24th of 2026. A devastating love story, a bewitching twist on history, a blood-drenched hunt for purpose, power, and redemption. In 1785, Professor Sebastian Grave receives the news he fears the most. The terrible beast of Guvaudan has returned, and the French countryside runs red in its wake. Sebastian knows the beast, a monster slayer with centuries of experience. He joined the hunt for the creature 20 years ago and watched it slaughter its way through a long, bloody winter. Even with the help of his indwelling demon, Sarmadel, who takes payment in living hearts, it nearly cost him his life to bring down the monster. Now, 2 decades later, Sebastian has been recalled to hunt by Antoine Avenel d'Aucerne, an estranged lover who shares a dark history with the beast and a terrible secret with Sebastian. Sounds great. The cover looks crazy cool, so I'm super hype about this. It seems like French folklore historical fiction, which I'm all over. Next, The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I never read this in high school. I know a lot of people did. I know Stay Golden Pony Boy. I haven't read it. No one ever said life was easy, but Pony Boy is pretty sure he's got things figured out. He knows that he can count on his brothers, Dairy and Soda Pop, and he knows he can count on his friends, true friends who would do anything for him, like Johnny and Two-Bit. But when it comes to the Sox, a vicious gang of rich kids who enjoy beating up greasers like him and his friends, he knows that he can count on them for trouble. But one night someone takes things too far and Pony Boy's world is turned upside down. This book was gifted to me by my dad when I was complaining about all the books I was reading and how bad they were. So he was like, here's a good quick read. Just read it. It's good. Again, I've never received a bad recommendation from my dad or my brother, so I'm very much looking forward to this one. He wrote me a note and everything. The next book was gifted to me as well. This book was gifted to me by my sister years ago for my birthday, I believe. And it's the second book in a duology. That's The Dazzling Heights by Catherine McGee. This book follows, what's it called? The 13th floor? The 13th floor. The 1000th floor, which is about this 1000-floor building. Very much a caste system like Red Rising, except the lower in the caste you are, the lower floor you live on, and you serve the rich people in the higher towers. But this is the follow-up to what happens after that tragedy strikes. Look at how pretty. It's like Empire State Building on steroids. Oh, it is the Empire State Building on steroids, I forgot. Manhattan, 2118. 5 of your main characters. We're 100 years in the future. New York is a city of innovation and dreams. Everyone wants something and everyone has someone to lose. You get a couple of like genetically engineered to be perfect people who are at the top, and then you have some people that are on the lower floors in maintenance. There's this tragedy that happened and it makes everyone a suspect. It's glamour, it's dystopia, it's really good. I would argue that this is one of the best dystopian books I've read in a very long time. I feel like they're just not making them like they used to. I first read this when I was probably 15, 16, so it's been a while. Almost a decade, but it's good, so we're gonna read this soon. Absolute complete vibe switch. We have A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. I got this from Hemingway House on Key West when I went with my parents, which was an amazing opportunity. There's polydactyl cats and it's so pretty and cute and I love it. A Farewell to Arms is the unforgettable story of an American ambulance driver on the Italian front and his passion for his beautiful English nurse. Set against the looming horrors of the battlefield, this gripping semi-autobiographical work captures the harsh realities of war and the pain of lovers caught in its inexorable sweep. This will be my first Hemingway. I think I remember having a discussion with my dad about what I should read first. He was like, if you've never read this, you have to read this. I remember when we were there, he bought a couple of books, one of which was The Old Man and the Sea, which is like this big. It's kind of intimidating, but I really think I'm gonna love this. This is the type of souvenir I love because it reminds me of my trip, it reminds me of a specific place, and I'll get use out of it again and again. Next, we have a book I almost finished my year out with, and that is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. On a bitter cold day in the December of his junior year at Harvard, Sam Masur exits a subway car and sees, amidst the hordes of people waiting on the platform, Sadie Green. He calls her name. For a moment, she pretends she hasn't heard him, but then she turns, and a game begins, a legendary collaboration that will launch them to stardom. These friends, intimate since childhood, borrow money, beg favors, and before even graduating college, they have created their first blockbuster, Ichigo. Overnight, the world is theirs, spanning 30 years from Cambridge to Venice Beach. I've been told that this is a platonic love story, just 2 friends that really love each other and really care for each other, and that sounds really good to me. Some of my favorite books last year were fiction, so I'm okay with that. But I've heard really good things about this. That is some tiny print, girl. Oh, look at how pretty that is. I've heard sensational things and it's been on my shelf for far too long, so we'll get to that one this year for sure. Next. This is a book I definitely picked up because it was pretty and I still feel the same way. The Scorpion and the Night Blossom by Emily Wenzow. Look at it here, look at it here. Look at it here. Look at it here. It just kept getting prettier. I had to buy it. 9 years ago, the war between the Kingdom of Night and the Kingdom of Rivers tore An Ying's family apart, leaving her mother barely alive and a baby sister to fend for. Now the mortal realm is falling into eternal night, and Mo, beautiful ravenous demons, roam the land, feasting on the flesh of humans and drinking their souls. An Ying is no longer a helpless child, though. Armed with her crescent blades and trained in the ancient art of practicing, she has decided to enter the immortality trials. We love some trials, which are open to any mortal who can survive the journey to the immortal realm. Those who complete the trials are granted a pill of eternal life, the one thing An Ying knows can heal her dying mother. But to attain the prize, she must survive the competition. And then she's introduced to the powerful and handsome rival contestant, Yu Chen, who is secretive about his past and as he is about his motives for protecting An Ying. Phenomenal. If this is a standalone, I'm gonna be a very happy gal. Loved every moment. Sweeping, intense, darkly romantic. Beautiful tale of duty, danger, and desire. Sign me up, girl. Sign me up. Next we have one book. Again, not the whole series, but I will probably end up reading the whole series that has been long overdue. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I read Six of Crows in, I think, 2021 and adored it. Loved it. So much. I've since read The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo and Ninth House, both of which are like, okay, I didn't love them, but this is in the same universe as Six of Crows. From my understanding, Shadow and Bone happens a couple of years or decades before Six of Crows. It's 3 books. Her writing style is phenomenal. I cannot wait to jump back into this universe. Next is another book that was gifted to me. People know me, people love me, and people buy me books. This was gifted to me by a friend who asked if I had read it and said that it was absolutely unforgivable that I haven't and that I must, so she bought it for me. Thank you, Jenny. And that is The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George. This is about a gentleman who goes searching for his wife in this mobile bookshop. Monsieur Perdu is a literary apothecary. From his floating bookstore in a barge on the Seine, he prescribes novels for the hardships of life. Using his intuitive feel for the exact book a reader needs, Perdu mends broken hearts and soul. Perdu. Men's broken hearts and souls. The only person he can't seem to heal is himself. He's still haunted by heartbreak after his great love disappeared. She left him with only a letter that he has never opened. After Perdu is finally tempted to read the letter, he hauls anchor and departs on a mission to the south of France, hoping to make peace with his loss and discover the end of the story. He dispenses his books and his wisdom along the way, showing that the literary world can take the human soul on a journey to heal itself. Precious and sweet and so fitting for the year I have ahead. So this is gonna be a perfect, sweet little read. Next up is a sequel to one of my favorite books of all time, China Rich Girlfriend, which is a sequel to Crazy Rich Asians, which I have read like 4 or 5 times. I love that book. I have not ever gotten through this one. This is the farthest I've ever gotten. I don't know why. China Rich Girlfriend focuses on Astrid, and everybody who's watched or read Crazy Rich Asians knows Astrid is a baddie. We love Astrid. Astrid needs to be treated better constantly, always. She deserves the freaking world. It's Rachel Chu's wedding from the first book, and it's all about Astrid. So this is gonna be fantastic. We're 16 books in, guys. We're making progress. Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is a young adult romance. Liz Buxbaum has always known that Wes Bennett was not boyfriend material. You would think that her next door neighbor would be a prime candidate for her romantic comedy fantasies, but Wes has only proven himself to be a pain in the butt ever since they were little. Wes was the kid who put a frog in her Barbie dream house, the monster who hid a lawn gnome's severed head in her little homemade neighborhood book exchange. Flash forward 10 years from the Great Gnome Decapitation, it's Liz's senior year, a time meant to be rife with milestones perfect for any big screen, and she needs Wes's help. See, Liz's forever crush, Michael, has just moved back to town, and horribly, annoyingly, he's hitting it off with Wes, meaning that if Liz wants Michael to finally notice her and hopefully be her prom date, she needs Wes. He's her in, but as Liz and Wes scheme to get Liz her magical prom moment, she's shocked to discover that she actually likes being around Wes. And as they continue to grow closer, she must re-examine everything she thought she knew about love and rethink her own perception of what happily ever after should really look like. Adorable. Sign me up. This is gonna be a super quick read. The next book is also a book I've read part of but need to finish. That is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. There are so many of these books out now. When I started reading this, there was only the one. This is a collection of short stories about a magic coffee shop at which you can sit down at a specific chair and travel back in time to have a conversation with a loved one. I've read through I think half the short story is here. Oh, it looks like I'm halfway through his story. Oh, I have a fancy Red Rocks ticket for my bookmark. I read a couple of these and decided that it was just too good and I didn't want it to end, so I stopped reading it. Which is so silly, I know. Now, because there's so many of these other books, I think I can finally push through and finish it. We have another first book. I think my hair is hairing right now. Slay hair. We have another first book in a series, A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I think I remember this being a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Fall in love, break the curse. Cursed to repeat the autumn of his 18th year, Prince Wren of Emberfall thought he could be easily saved if a girl fell for him. Beauty and the Beast. But that was before he turned into a vicious beast, Beauty and the Beast, and destroyed his castle, his family, and every last shred of hope. What did I tell you? Nothing has ever been easy for Harper, with her father long gone, her mother dying, and her brother constantly underestimating her because of her cerebral palsy. Hello, representation! When she tries to save a stranger on the streets of Washington, D.C., she's pulled into a magical world. Harper doesn't know where she is or what to believe. A prince, a curse, a monster? As she begins to understand what's at stake, Wren's hope comes flooding back, but powerful forces are standing against Emberfall, and it will take more than a broken curse to save Harper, Wren, and his people from utter ruin. I think this is just a trilogy. A Curse So Dark and Lonely, A Heart So Fierce and Broken, A Vow So Bold and Deadly. It's kind of a thicker book. This is like 450 pages. Yeah, 472. I've never read a book with a protagonist that has cerebral palsy before, so that will be cool and new for me to read. Next, I have a book that my sister has been begging me to read since she read it last year, maybe before that. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I've heard nothing but spectacular things about this book. I tried to read it last year, I just couldn't get into it. It's about Kit and Ivy and a magic typewriter. It's like a, from my understanding, it's historical fiction, magical historical fiction, or more so like magical historical fantasy. It's like, from my understanding, World War II era, but there's different mythology and there's like this war going on in the name of the gods. After centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again. But 18-year-old Iris, Iris, not Ivy, they're both plants. Iris Winnow just wants to hold her family together. Her mother is suffering from addiction and her brother is missing from the front lines. Her best bet is to win the columnist promotion at the Oath Gazette. To combat her worries, Iris writes letters to her brother and slips them beneath her wardrobe door, where they vanish into the hands of Roman Kit, her cold and handsome rival at the paper. When he anonymously writes Iris back, the two of them forge a connection that will follow Iris all the way to the front lines of battle, for her brother, the fate of mankind, and love. This is a 2-book duology. Seems really good. I just was not in the right headspace when I tried to read it the first time. I think I will be soon. I also picked up Wild Reverence, which I've been told I need to have the backstory of the Divine Rivals duology to fully understand. And I really want to read Wild Reverence. So we'll get there. Can you see my little book stack? These are all my books. Next, sip of coffee. Before anything else, sip of coffee. Oh. It's getting cold. Before the coffee gets cold. It's so fun to be so excited about books. I love books. I think they're so awesome. You'd think you pick up on that because it's a YouTube channel about books or something. The Magician in Tiger Castle by Louis Sakar. He wrote Holes, which I never actually read, but I watched the movie with Shia LaBeouf, so that counts for something, right? The beloved author of Holes presents his first adult novel, a modern fantasy classic of forbidden love, a crumbling kingdom, and the unexpected magic all around us. That sounds so cute. After decades of children's stories with adult intelligence, Sakar has given us an adult novel with a child's heart. That sounds so sweet and phenomenal. Long ago and far away, and somewhere south of France, lies the kingdom of Esquaveta. There, Princess Tulia is in nearly as much peril as her struggling kingdom. Esquaveta desperately needs to forge an alliance, and to that end, Tulia's father has arranged a marriage between her and an odious prince. However, 1 month before the wedding of the century, Tulia falls in love with a lowly apprentice scribe. The king turns to Anatole, his much maligned magician. 18 years earlier, when Anatole first came to the castle, he was regarded as something of a prodigy. But after a long series of failures, the latest being an attempt to transform sand into gold, he has become the object of contempt and ridicule. The only one who still believes in him is the princess. When the king orders Anatole to brew a potion that will ensure Tulia agrees to the wedding, Anatole is faced with an impossible choice. With one chance to save the marriage, the kingdom, and, of most importance to him, his reputation, will he betray the princess or risk
Ruin. 300-page book, seems super sweet and fun. It seems so whimsical that it's hard for me to believe that it's adult fantasy. This was one of 2 books that I bought with birthday money from my boyfriend. So many of these books are gifts, and I love that. I feel so blessed. This just seems like a sweet little standalone fantasy that will treat me well in my time of need. I have faith. Next. Oh my gosh, I don't have the book for this one, but oh my gosh, I'm excited. Can you tell? I think I just glitched. Eternal Dark by T. Girma. Whoa, it's about to be so good. I know it. I know it's gonna be so good. This is the 2nd book in the series, Immortal Dark by T. Girma. Oh, that was one of my best books of last year. I read it October 31st, started rereading it November 1st. It was so good, so good. All the flowers, all the flowers, all the flowers. Sensational, fantastic, amazing. Would read it a million times again. Am I gonna tell you what it's about or not? A lost heiress must infiltrate an arcane society and live with the vampire she suspects killed her family and kidnapped her sister. That's the short version, but it's so good. It began long before my time, but something has always hunted our family. Orphaned heiress Kidan Adana, that's how the audiobook said it, Kidan Adana, grew up far from the arcane society she was born into, where human bloodlines gain power through vampire companionship. When her sister June disappears, Kidan is convinced a vampire stole her. The very vampire bound to their family, the cruel yet captivating Susanyo Seged. That's also how the audiobook said it. To find June, Kidan must infiltrate the elite Yuxley University, where students study to ensure peaceful coexistence between humans and vampires and inherit their family legacies. Kidan must survive living with Susenyos, even as he does everything he can to drive her away. It doesn't matter that Susenyos' wickedness speaks to Kidan's own violent nature and tempts her to surrender to a life of darkness. She must find her sister and kill Susenyos at all costs. When a murder mirroring June's disappearance shakes Yuxley, Kidan sinks further into the ruthless underworld of vampires, risking her very soul. There she discovers a centuries-old threat, and June could be at the center of it. To save her sister, Kidan must bring Yuxley to its knees and either break free from the horrors of her own actions or embrace the dark entanglements of love and the blood it requires. Reading that and knowing what happens, girl, I got full body chills. I feel it down my back, up my arms. I have goosebumps. That book is so good. They're on my face. I feel the goosebumps on my face. That book is sensational. I don't know why I didn't like Ninth House, which is about YALL and dark magic, and I did like this book. I think it's because fantasy, different distinction, whatever. I don't really know, but oh girl, it was so good. It was dark and twisted and gothic, and I'm doing this thing. Did you see that? I was going like this. That's how good it is. I'm really excited about this 2nd book. Obviously, we can all tell. The way, it's prose-like, it's written so well, and I did not see what happened coming at all, which is my favorite. I want to be left so unawares. One of the best books of the year, for sure. I don't know when book 3 is coming out, but it's one of my most anticipated books, guaranteed, like point blank period. Whenever it's coming out, I'm anticipated it. I can't even think right. I can't even speak right. That book was so shocking. It was gross. It was gothic. It was great. It was devastating, but not in a way that I was like completely dead afterwards. I loved every piece of it. I can't wait to read Eternal Dark. I don't know if I'm going to read this soon or if I'm going to wait to the fall. Genuinely have no clue. On one side, I must know. And on the other side, it's such a perfect fall book. I just don't know what I'll choose. The next book I've kind of been avoiding, but like for good reason, because I don't want their storyline to end. I know I'll see more of them. I'm just not ready for it to stop. It's also trauma. This book is like a lot. Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. This book's a behemoth. This is the Boys of Tommen series. It starts with Binding 13. These first 2 books are about Johnny and Shannon. Johnny Kavanagh is a prodigy of a rugby player. He's set to go pro straight out of high school, but he has an injury that he won't let heal that could put his whole professional career in jeopardy. Shannon moves schools because she's so heavily bullied at her last school and has a really bad, heavy, abusive home life. So she transfers school to Tommen College. think it's Tom in college. At which, on her first day, Johnny accidentally drop kicks a ball into the side of her head, concusses her, and her mom, of course, runs in, is like, you stay away from my daughter. Because hello, she just moved schools to avoid this intense bullying. Binding 13 is the story of them getting closer from like strictly tacit interactions. It's so precious, and rereading these books reminded me what high school felt like, but not in a bad way. You know how when you were in high school, everything felt like the end of the world, like everything was so important. These were the biggest emotions you'd ever experienced, so it felt like your whole world depended on this little high school. It reminded me of that, but now that I'm through it, I can see it from an external perspective and look back fondly at it. Even though high school was like not that phenomenal for myself and many other people, I say that it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I just dealt with it could have been worse, but it reminded me of that in a fond, nostalgia kind of way. I really like that, and I really like Johnny and Shannon's characters. I think they're so sweet, and I'm not ready for their storyline to end, and I don't know that I'm ready for like more trauma everywhere all the time. This book I bought from Barnes & Noble quite some time ago because it intrigued me. I don't remember what it's about, but the title still intrigues me. How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. There is no way that's your real name, and if it is, I'm really sorry if I just offended you. This is published by Orbit Fantasy. I just noticed that Fonda Lee, who authored Jade City that we just talked about, said this is outrageously fun, filled with humor, action, and unexpected warm-heartedness. Oh, it's a duology. Even better. Davi has done this all before. She's tried to be the hero and take down the all-powerful Dark Lord. 100 times she's rallied humanity and made the final charge, but the time loop always gets her in the end. Sometimes she's killed quickly, sometimes it takes a while, but she's been defeated every time. This time, she's done being the hero and done being stuck in this endless time loop. If the Dark Lord always wins, then maybe that's who she needs to be. It's Davi's turn to play on the winning side. It sounds so fun, and I like knowing that it's a duology instead of like an 8-book series. Matt Dinneman, who wrote Dungeon Crawler Carl, says it's a sarcastic, action-packed, intrigue-filled misadventure. One of the funniest books I've read in a long time. Guys, we have 3 books left. Can you believe it? There's another book on this list that I have physically that I did not bring over here. Give me a minute. We're back. I would like another sip of coffee. I need to eat something. I need to go to Costco. I need to get gas. It is such a busy day today. Next up is Wild Card by Elsie Silver. This is the 4th and final book in the Rose Hill Ranch series, or at least I think it's the last book in the Rose Hill Ranch series. Wild Card is about Bash, who's on the bowling league. That's about all I know about him. From my understanding, this is I think the trope is like ex-boyfriend's dad, which is really weird to me. I don't know the first thing though. It's Grumpy Sunshine. Sebastian Rousseau, oh, I didn't even know his last name, is a grumpy, hot as hell fire pilot. Is he? I always thought of him as like this old curmudgeonly guy. Okay, I guess he's hot. It's the perfect combination, but unfortunately for me, he's also my ex-boyfriend's dad. A chance meeting brought us together and a misconnection has kept us apart. 1 year later, a stroke of fate has us living under the same roof, which makes everything between us downright messy. Some forced proximity action, we all know how I feel about that. Because even after all this time, he's still the man I think about when I fall asleep, the one I can't get over no matter how hard I try. Really awkward that you were dating his son. At that rate. He's working on amending a fragile relationship with his son, and we both know acting on these urges would be the ultimate betrayal, but I see the heat in his eyes, that look of need that never fails to send a shiver down my spine. The mutual longing is borderline unbearable, and the simmering heat between us is downright palpable, but we both know there are rules when it comes to situations like this, but then again, following the rules has never been my strong suit. Girl, you're a yoga teacher. What do you mean by that? I don't know how I'll feel about this. I loved Wild Love and Wild Eyes. I didn't love Wild Side. If it leans more on the lusty, forced proximity kind of vibe like Wild Side did, I don't think I'm gonna like this one as much, but there's no way to know until I read it. So we're gonna read it. Next is another romance, and it's the only Emily Henry I have not read yet, and that is Book Lovers. I don't know anything about this, so we're gonna learn together. One summer, 2 rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. Nora Stevens' life is a book. She reads them all, and she is not that type of heroine. Not the plucky one, not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is a heroine for are her clients, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved little sister Libby, which is why she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina for the month of August when Libby begs her for a sister's trip away. way, with visions of a small-town transformation for Nora, who she's convinced needs to become the heroine in her own story. Instead of picnics in the meadows, or run-ins with a handsome country doctor, or bulging four-armed bartender, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie Lastra, a bookish, brooding editor from back in the city. It would be a meet cute if not for the fact that they've met many times and it's never been cute. If Nora knows she's not an ideal heroine, Charlie knows he's nobody's hero, but as they are thrown together again and again in a series of coincidences no editor worth their salt would allow, that's funny. What they discover might just unravel the carefully crafted stories they've written about themselves. Well, that sounds cute. If Emily Henry does what she has been doing and releases another book this summer, then perhaps I will not be caught up. If I finish this one, I'll have read all of her catalog, and I like the idea of that, so I'm excited to read that. Honorable mentions for books I'm about to read this year are Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. Super excited about that. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. I will be making time. I will be dedicated. Yes, I'm scared. I know I'm going to love it. And that terrifies me. The whole Harry Potter series I was gifted for Christmas by my best friend. No, I have not read them. Yes, I will vlog it. Yes, I am scared. Last book. Oh, this is another book that I am very scared to read because I know it's gonna make me feel things. And I'm scared. I have a lot of sisters. I love them all very dearly. I don't know that I could cope if anything happened to them ever. So I've been really terrified to read this book because I know it's about sisters. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is a World War II book about two sisters that get separated, to my understanding. I've been told it's really, really good. I've been told it ruins people, and I believe both of those things. Some of my favorite books of last year were historical fiction. I know it's gonna be really, 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 really good. I just know it's also gonna rip my heart out. With courage, grace, and powerful insight, bestselling author Kristen Hanna captures the epic panorama of World War II and illuminates an intimate part of history seldom seen, the Women's War. The Nightingale tells the stories of two sisters separated by years and experience, by ideals, passion, and circumstance, each embarking on her own dangerous path toward survival, love, and freedom in German-occupied, war-torn France. A heartbreakingly beautiful novel that celebrates the resilience of the human spirit and the durability of women. It is a novel for everyone, a novel for a lifetime. I know that's gonna be so good. I just also know that it's gonna hit me hard. My best book of last year was also a book about strong women that also had a historical element. Now, by now, my best books of 2025 video should be out, so go watch that. You can learn what my best book of 2025 was. I know it's gonna be really, really good. I'm just scared for a book to devastate me as intensely as I fear this one will. But I'm super excited to read it. I anticipate that it's gonna hurt so bad when I read it, and that makes me worry. Those are my 26 books that I will be reading in 2026. These are books I confidently do want to read. I want this to be a list that you hold me to. I have 100 books to read this year. 26 is only a quarter of that. That's next to nothing. So I will, in fact, be pushing myself to read all of these books, which is wackus bonkus of me, but I'm pushing. I'm gonna do it. I have faith. So many exciting things are happening this year, and I cannot wait to share them with you guys. I am the busiest little bee, so send me good vibrations, send me prayers, send the good energy always. What are some of your must-reads for 2026? Comment them down below. Give the video a like if you liked it, or even if you didn't, it costs you nothing, you might as well. And subscribe if you like more bookish content. I like having you here. I like talking to you guys, so hit the subscribe button. Make sure you turn on the notification bell if you want to know when I post, and I will be sure to post very, very soon. I can't wait to talk to you guys some more. Have a good day. The sun is up. The day is new. Take care of yourselves. Eat something. Have some water. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.